So according to today's Daily Mail, which romantic gesture do women most want from their partner? It's a surprise, guys.
And welcome back. You're watching The Right Stuff live on 5 with Yasmin Ali Brown, Christopher Biggins and our special guest Pauline McLynn.
Good morning.
Good morning. Still to come, is retirement a human right? Should everyone have a chance to give up work and live on a pension at some point in their lives? Or is that a luxury? 0207 173 5555 is the number if you've got something to say. First, though, today's papers. Before we get to your first story, I just want to give you the unemployment figures. Latest unemployment figures just come in. In the 3 months to May, they've gone up by 281,000. So that means a jump from, what, 2.1 million to 2.38 million, nearly 2.4 and rising. What have you got, Pauline?
On that cheery note,
Yeah,
I'll add to that. I know that you've been obsessing slightly about swine flu on the show. And we were told, the government said, don't worry, there'll be a vaccine by August. Now they're going, oh, hang on, actually, no. So panic still. Basically, the World Health Organization said, no, there's no vaccine. They've literally said, those are the words, there's no vaccine. They might have one next month, but they won't have done any clinical tests on it. So, you know, we won't get it for ages.
Well,
I so don't want it.
Liam Donaldson, the Chief Medical Officer, was kind of adamant that there will be some form of vaccine here come August. It's only, what, 3 weeks, 2 weeks and a bit away?
But I wonder about all that anyway. You know, I mean, I'm slightly asthmatic, so every so often I get a flu vaccine. But they change, they mutate so quickly. I mean, how can they guarantee us that, you know, it will do anything? I think we're just going to take it on board.
To be honest, I was healthily cynical, shall we say, about Tamiflu. And I know 2 people now that have had Tamiflu after being diagnosed with swine flu. And in both cases, they said within a matter of hours, they felt, you know, much, much better. So I'm a believer now. And if this vaccine was available, I'd like to give it a go, yeah.
Yeah, but I'll have it as well. But, you know, mostly a little bottle of wine, maybe, so that I have wine flu afterwards. And you know, that's fine. I don't mind that. I'm used to that.
Anything else, Pauline?
Yeah, now this is... No matter what you think about, you know, war, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing, as the song goes.
Say it again.
Yeah, war. Oh, what? Stop. This could go on forever. Yeah. You know it. It's a great song. But I don't know if you're not moved by the, you know, the photos at the front of the Sun of the longest goodbye, they say, of the 8 coffins.
I just looked at that headline this morning and I thought,
it's so sad.
Thus far, the longest goodbye. And that's the bit that really got to me, was I just thought, you know, 8 servicemen brought home.
It's just so tragic,
God
isn't
forbid it was to be any more in a day.
And inside the Sun, there are pictures of young men absolutely devastated, crying, and that's what moved me too this morning.
And I think, you know, fair play to Wootton Bassett, you know, it was pretty much a spontaneous thing. The people turned out, and you know what, as I say, no matter what you think, those brave people, and some of them children. I mean, I've been watching the news recently and I've been struck, and it's not just that I'm getting older, but by how young they are.
18,
and I think,
18,
oh please, 20. Not on my behalf, you know, these kids. But you know, bless them, they are brave, and they deserve better, I think. But beautiful, sad photograph. Other than that, well, from the sublime to almost the ridiculous, fast food. They're experiencing their first drop in sales in 40 years. And you know what? They're not saying it's because of the recession. Or no, they are saying it's because of the recession. It's not to do with health at all. It's just people are spending less.
The other way round. I distinctly remember a report saying that sales of pizza had gone up because it was cheap, filling food, and that people were preferring pizza than, you know, sort of organics or healthier stuff. Because it was a good price. So I'm really surprised.
Yeah,
the most amazing thing is they haven't had a drop in 40 years.
40 years, yeah, and it's they're saying that people are spending less on informal dining. You know, apparently that's anything less than £15 per person. I think that's quite a lot to pay, isn't it, for a meal? 15 quid. I would call £14.95 quite formal dining in my world. But that's really interesting, isn't it? You know, it's a money thing. It's not health at all. So
I am surprised. I thought more people would be eating.
And you know, health is supposed to be the thing. They did a survey recently, isn't it, where people say, you know, the things that make you happy. Good health is one, which I thought was a bit boring, really. And second came the words, I love you.
But yesterday there was a programme on, I think it was BBC, where they took all this top, you know, high market healthy food from Marks and so on. The salmon they're supposed to have fished in some loch
Yeah.
There is no such lock.
No, it's
This salmon did not come from
fish
that
farm.
place.
It's a fish farm.
But on all
Ordinary.
of those food porn ads for Marks and Spencer, where they go, look, I'm your salmon. I believed them. Oh, that's it, Mark.
Such lies. I mean,
But, you know, do we deserve all that? Because I've also seen, you know, fast food taken apart and presented really beautifully. Did you see that recently? You know, like a gourmet meal, and you think, yeah, it looks plausible.
Okay, fast food. Anything else?
Yeah, now your favourite story, and it is hilarious. Marriage, now I know I shared too much about my own earlier, but marriage is a dangerous business, and here's the proof. You know, the traditional throwing of the bouquet, and indeed I've stood, even while married, with the supposed wallflowers, trying to grasp the bouquet, because, you know, I'd like to go again. It's a great day out. I may even marry the present, Mr. McLynn.
There's a wonderful
another
picture
time.
of my lovely girlfriend at a friend's wedding, and I only saw the photo the other day, and it's the girls doing the bouquet, and my little girlfriend is a little person, not quite as little as the people you were working with the other day, but she's not far off. And in this photo, you've got a gaggle of women, and right in the middle of it is this tiny little woman going.
And can I just
Unfortunately,
say,
she was beaten by a 6'6" Afrikaans girl. Yeah, they literally plucked it out of the air.
you need to be worried about that, because the day she gets
I
that
know.
bouquet is the day it's over for you. But anyway, in Italy, a bride decided that rather than do what Martha Stewart, you know, the guru, says you should, she says you should stand, and go to prison for a little while. She says you should stand on the balcony, wherever, if you have a handy balcony, and throw it from there.
Right.
But this bride took it further and sent the bouquet up in an airplane and had it thrown down from there, but hadn't really done a dress rehearsal of it, and so the flowers got sucked back into the fuselage, and the plane crashed. Into the engine, yes. And the plane crashed. The pilot has survived, but the woman who was throwing the flowers on behalf of the bride has been quite badly injured. So, you know, there's my little cautionary tale
It also gave
for
a bit of a
today.
scare to the hotel that the plane crashed in, where 50 people managed to escape unhurt as well. So it's a miracle that no one was killed. But yes,
So
a
be
lesson
careful,
for brides
brides.
everywhere. Biggins, what have you got, Sam?
Right, the Sky News today breaking the fact that the missing British backpacker found alive in Oz. That's Jamie Neal. 12 days.
He looks
was
right as
missing.
rain, didn't he? I mean, it's amazing.
I don't know why he couldn't walk out, but apparently when he was in the Blue Mountains, where he was found, he kept seeing helicopters going across and trying to attract their attention, which of course must be so frustrating, mustn't it? To see just there someone waiting to.
And then
but anyway,
Skippy came along and
then Skippy
living
came
home.
along, absolutely. And this is the sad story, I think, in The Sun. Bizarre story. A teacher crushed to death in a bin truck. He was a teacher, a very clever man from Australia, living here, was a good teacher. He went out on the, I was going to say on the, no, I can't say that. On the lash, yes. And thank you very much, Matthew.
You're welcome.
And he decided to go to sleep in a bin.
Wheelie bin.
A wheelie bin, which was 5 foot. Now, I don't know how he managed to be comfortable in there, but anyway, fell asleep. They come along the next morning, into the thing, and he gets crushed. And it's like a sort of terrible film.
It is.
You know, where you're trying to get rid of someone. You know,
I have to say that Dolores would never let herself get in a wheelie
Put her
bin.
back
And that
in
is
the
one
holster.
thing about her.
this might appeal to you too, your Dolores. You can't deport me. I'm a lesbian, says drug dealer. This is in the Daily Mail today, and she's a Jamaican, and boyfriend is Jamaican. When she went into prison,
So boyfriend? Oh, but she's become a
she was a boyfriend, and then she's dealed in Class A drugs, went to prison, found women in the prison, as you do. In a
That's
woman's
about all you'll find in there, I think.
apparently they were lesbians.
Oh.
Yeah, and she likes it. She liked it. Yeah. Anyway, she liked it.
Why are you looking at me? Hey, look, who wouldn't love us?
Well, I suppose if there's nothing else. If there's no sausages around. Anyway, they think it's a ploy for her to go back to not to go back to Jamaica to spend life. Because if she goes back to Jamaica, and they're very much against homosexuality, so she'd be something terrible.
Is that right? Okay, thank you for that. Biggins, what have you got, Yasmin?
The Telegraph, this story which has been running for a couple of days, that for those of us who are on our way to becoming elderly, every adult, says the Telegraph, could be forced to pay £20,000 upon their retirement
Now,
to
this
cover
because we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago when it was leaked, and the suggestion there would be 12 grand.
but now it's
20.
gone up.
And it's also that they're talking about this scheme being everybody. So it wouldn't be an opt-in, opt-out. It would be
Well,
if
most
they
people
go for
couldn't
this
pay
option.
anyway.
But you can pay after you die. If you've got a house, they take it off you after you've died.
A lot of people haven't got all that
No.
saved up anyway, or not even a house. So it's a... But, you know, they have to do something. I mean, we can't carry on because the population is getting older. A much larger number of us will need care. Therefore, it's
the
something we
Alzheimer's
have
thing
to
again, isn't it?
do.
Yeah, like in my book, yeah.
Now, talking about hating the rich, let me tell you, the Daily Mirror says that it's incredible. Fat cat bankers claimed £12 million.
Billion?
Billion pounds in
They don't
perks
deal in
and
millions anymore. It's not worth their
bonuses.
while.
They don't. I mean, it is.
This is Goldman Sachs, isn't it, primarily?
Yeah.
So
But I'm sure.
took-
No, lots of others.
But
they
Goldman
think
Sachs-
we've forgotten.
Goldman Sachs
they think
got-
that was yesterday.
But Goldman Sachs got, I think, a $20 billion bailout from the American government. To
And
be
they
fair
paid.
to them, last month they paid it all back. And they've had barnstorming profits. The problem is, of course, is it shows that the banking industry has not reformed itself in any shape or form.
At all. And it will not unless there is really tough regulation.
I tell you what,
I think
though,
the Americans are doing
if
it
our
more than we
banks
are.
could pay back some of the billions they've had within the next few weeks, I might not be so opposed to them having bonuses, but billions, I mean, it's just every member of staff, on average, is going to get $1 million, like £500,000, £600,000.
I'm
More
sorry,
than
Matthew,
600.
we don't want a society where anybody gets a £1 million bonus.
No.
We don't actually want that. You know, a society is better.
But I'd rather
for
I'd rather the money was repaid pronto and whatever it takes.
Oh, no. And then this very sad story where a couple, he was Sir Edward Downes, who was a fabulous, very famous conductor, and his wife, they went to Dignitas, and both of them were ill. And
Well, this is what's quite interesting, because she'd been diagnosed with terminal cancer. He was sort of mid-80s and frail, but other than that, I didn't think he was ill. He was blind and frail, but he wasn't terminally ill.
I
no more than any
completely
of the rest of
understand
us.
it. I'm sorry, and we made a pact earlier that we're going to do this
Yes,
too one
we're
day
going to go.
together.
But you can see the problem is it's on the one hand you've got Debbie Purdy. Though, seriously, you've got Debbie Purdy fighting for clarity as to whether or not her partner can take her to this clinic when her disease is so progressed that she can't do it herself. Does she go now while she can, or wait? She needs that clarity. A situation like this is not going to make the House of Lords, or indeed any other politician, I think, warm to the subject anymore, because you've got people that aren't terminally ill signing off at the same time as their partners.
You can't deny them that
are.
choice, I don't think.
Yes,
you can't
I
deny
agree.
them.
You've
So
got to
do
be
I.
given the choice.
It's cruel.
Actually, I've written about it in Missing You already. The mother says, when I get to a certain point, you have got to help me. You've got to let me swim out to sea and leave me there. But you know, the trouble is then, of course, when is the time?
Well, that's
I guess so. I understand there is no quick answer, but I think they were well within their human rights to go and do that. And
I'm not saying they're not.
I
I'm
hope
just.
that
I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying that
it's.
we're at a really interesting time where people are talking about euthanasia. They're talking about assisted suicide. People are looking for clarity in the law, and this at this moment in time, for that discussion, that debate slightly muddies the waters. Whatever your view on the rights or wrongs.
I think that what they did was brave.
No, I'm not saying what they did was
you
wrong.
know,
I'm just saying that for the discussion that's out there at the moment, which is trying to get clarity,
And for other
this is
people.
probably the last thing that discussion
No, I
needed.
don't agree with you. I think it clarifies things, that there are some people who simply don't want to live, and the state should not make them live.
Okay.
I think.
I agree.
One last one.
Oh, the romantic, what we want.
Who
We
cares?
want you to.
Who
We want
cares?
you to.
Switch on the
lesbian
football.
drug
Tidy the
dealers,
house.
yes.
we want surprises. We want surprises, and you want to buy us underwear, and
No.
wrong. Really,
Oven
we
gloves
want
and
the
a good
really lovely
dishwasher.
things like. I mean, some of these are very odd. Run her bath. Well, you know, a good man always runs your bath.
Really?
Yes.
What, just out of interest? Just out of interest.
Yes.
Where's the corresponding article about what men want and get that
Yeah.
you do
Oh,
for
for
us?
We
goodness
know.
sake,
Oh,
we're
really? You know,
tired.
do you?
We know what you
Want.
And it's not romance.
Yeah. And I'm not doing that unless there's money involved. Yeah?
Don't speak with your mouth full, Yeltsin. After the break,
To hide the sausage.
after the break, is retirement a human right? Have a think about it. Give us a call. Or maybe for the recession and the needs of a growing elderly population means we have to forget about that. Because if pension funds can't keep up with demand, and they can't, do we have any choice but to accept facts, face up to it, and realise that retirement is a luxury and could soon be a thing of the past. 0207 173 5555 is the number for your thoughts. Why should you be allowed to put your feet up and do nothing just because you're 65 when your local DIY store or supermarket needs you? Your calls are nothing but after the ads.
According to Age Concern, what percentage of people can't afford to retire at 65? 13, 33 or 53%?